Chosen one, pause and hear this now. What you have been enduring, the endless cycles that have returned again and again in your life, the same frustrations, the repeated heartbreaks, the doors that seem to open only to close immediately. These are all coming to an end. Yes, the cycle is breaking, and God Himself is stepping in to release you from the patterns that have held you captive. You may have doubted, questioned, or even wondered if relief would ever arrive. But the truth is, this is your appointed moment. For too long, you have carried burdens that were never meant to define you. You have walked through the same storms, faced the same setbacks, and battled against repetitions that felt like chains around your spirit. But listen closely, these repetitions were never permanent. They were preparation, a hidden molding of your character, a silent hand shaping your destiny while you could not see the larger picture. And now the divine hand is moving in ways that will astonish your heart. Tonight the heavens are aligning for you. What seemed stagnant is shifting. What felt heavy is lifting. A new season is dawning, a season where the old patterns, the repeated mistakes, and the familiar struggles will no longer hold sway over your life. God is declaring the cycle ends here. Not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but here in this very moment where your spirit can receive this message. I see you, the quiet resilience you have carried, the prayers whispered in the dark, the hope that flickered when all else seemed lost. You are rare. You are chosen. You are standing at a threshold where divine intervention meets your willingness to receive it. And yet, there is more to understand. The breaking of the cycle is not just a removal of old pain. It is a signal that God is preparing to lift you into your destiny, revealing blessings and truths that have been hidden until now. Tonight you will sense a stirring within, a gentle pressure in your soul, a whisper that calls you forward. That stirring is the invitation to step into the divine momentum, to align with the purpose that has been awaiting your readiness. You will discover the freedom that has been just out of reach, the peace that comes when repetition loses its grip, and the power of standing firm while heaven shifts the course of your life. Hold on to this. What you have been waiting for is arriving. The cycle breaks here. The weight lifts. The doors open. The chains shatter. And as you journey through this message, you will see not only what is ending, but what is beginning, a story written before the foundations of your life, waiting for the moment you could finally receive it. And now, as your heart begins to sense the shift, know this message does not come from human understanding. It comes from a place beyond time, from a source that knows the beginning and the end of every season of your life. God Himself is speaking, and His words carry authority, clarity, and love. Every word you hear in this moment is imbued with purpose, designed to awaken you to the reality that what has seemed random or chaotic has always been guided by a hand far greater than your own. He sees the nights when you wept quietly, wondering if you were forgotten. He knows the moments when your faith felt thin, when your spirit felt stretched beyond endurance. And He is telling you now, you were never alone. Every repetition, every setback, every pattern that circled back was observed, measured, and recorded in the book of your life. And though it may have seemed endless, every experience was a deliberate step toward this very hour. The divine mind does not act hastily, nor does it overlook the smallest detail of your journey. You are not just a participant in life. You are a chosen player in a grand tapestry, one that God Himself is weaving with infinite wisdom and precision. This is why you feel the stirring in your soul, the quiet urgency that something is changing. It is not coincidence. It is the divine timing of heaven intersecting with your readiness. God is opening a window into a higher understanding, a revelation of the cycles that have held you, and a preparation for the doors that will now open. In His presence, repetition loses its power. In His guidance, what once seemed endless becomes a prelude to freedom and fulfillment. Hear this clearly: the path you are on is not accidental. The patterns, the lessons, the tests, they have all been aligned to teach, to prepare, and to refine you. And now the moment has arrived for the intervention of divine authority. A spiritual momentum is forming around your life, a movement that cannot be stopped by doubt, fear, or the familiar setbacks you have faced before. Heaven is leaning in, and the cycles that once seemed unbreakable will give way to a new rhythm, a higher order, a divine orchestration that carries your name. Allow yourself to sense the magnitude of this truth. You are standing at a crossroads where divine insight meets your awareness. The spiritual veil is lifting, revealing that what you have endured is not punishment, but preparation. The source of this intervention is not distant, it is intimate, personal, and deliberate. Every whisper of encouragement, every quiet conviction in your heart, every alignment of circumstances that brought you here is a sign of God's direct involvement. As you continue to receive these words, open your spirit fully. Let your mind rest in the knowledge that what is coming is ordained, not random. The cycles are ending because God has decreed it. The repetitions lose their grip because the Creator is intervening. And the journey you are about to embark upon is guided by a hand that never errs, never tires, and never stops loving you through every trial, every waiting season, and every breakthrough that lies ahead. The moment you have been waiting for is arriving, though it may not look exactly as you imagined. A divine shift is taking place, a turning point where the cycles that have bound you finally dissolve. Picture a vast horizon, heavy clouds rolling back to reveal a sky painted with the first golden rays of dawn. That is what is happening in your life now. The storm retreats and the light begins to pour in, illuminating paths you could not see before. This is not mere chance. It is the work of heaven itself, breaking the patterns that have repeated far too long. You will encounter circumstances that feel sudden, even shocking, yet they are orchestrated with absolute precision. Doors that once remained closed will now swing open effortlessly, as if the universe itself leans to welcome you forward. Opportunities that have seemed elusive will present themselves in forms both familiar and unexpected. You may feel a pressure in your spirit, a magnetic pull toward decisions, people, or places that suddenly carry meaning. These are the markers of divine alignment, the unmistakable signature that God is moving directly in your favor. But the prophecy is not only about openings, it is about breaking the chains that held you to repetition. Imagine a wheel spinning endlessly, tires skidding over the same rough ground, leaving marks that never change. That wheel has been your life up until now. Circling the same challenges, the same disappointments, the same relationships, and the same self-doubt. The Creator is placing His hand on that wheel, slowing its rotation until it comes to a complete halt. And in that stillness, the opportunity to step onto a new path becomes visible, tangible, unavoidable. The cycle ends, and with it comes a freedom you have not yet known. In this new season, blessings will arrive not only in ways you can see, but in ways that touch the very fibers of your spirit. There will be moments when peace floods your heart unexpectedly, when doors you never knocked upon open, when conversations and encounters carry meaning that seems orchestrated by an unseen hand. These are the divine signatures confirming that what was once a repetitive pattern is now replaced with purpose-driven momentum. Yet the prophecy also carries a warning. The break in cycles will reveal hidden truths. You may encounter situations that test the depth of your faith, people who reflect both the love and the friction that your growth requires, and circumstances that challenge the strength of your alignment with this new season. These are not obstacles meant to derail you. They are markers, guides, and confirmations. They show that you are stepping fully into what has been prepared for you, that the path is real, and that the shifts you are experiencing are permanent and transformative. As the horizon expands, so too will your awareness of what is truly yours. You will sense doors of opportunity aligning with your purpose, connections being restored, and resources arriving at the exact moment you need them. Patterns of limitation that once defined your life will crumble beneath the weight of divine timing. And most importantly, you will feel the unmistakable stirrings of destiny, the quiet insistence within that this is no longer repetition. This is a new chapter, a divinely authored season where the outcomes of your choices, prayers, and faith converge to produce a life that has been hidden waiting and now fully revealed. So pay close attention to the subtle nudges, the synchronicities, and the unmistakable stirrings in your soul. The cycle breaks here. The heavens move on your behalf. And as you step into the momentum of this prophecy, every step will carry meaning. Every pause will teach patience, and every breakthrough will confirm the presence of God's hand, guiding, protecting, and unfolding the blueprint of your destiny. What is unfolding in your life is not simply a series of fortunate events. It is a sacred orchestration, a spiritual recalibration that transcends human understanding. The cycles you have endured were never meaningless. They were the soil from which your strength, discernment, and readiness were grown. Each repetition, each frustration, each moment when the world seemed to hold you back was a silent teacher, a divine sculptor, shaping your character, patience, and faith. In the divine economy, nothing is wasted, and nothing that has been placed in your life by God's hand is random. Every pattern, every season, every heartbeat has been purposeful, forming the foundation for the breakthrough now approaching. Consider the metaphor of seasons. You have moved through winters of silence, where your prayers seemed unanswered and the frost of delay covered the ground of your heart. You have weathered storms of conflict, uncertainty, and repetition, each gust of wind testing your roots and your resolve. And now, just as winter inevitably gives way to spring, so too will your life yield to a season of growth, renewal, and expansion. The cycles are not merely ending. They are giving birth to a new order, a rhythm ordained by God Himself. This is the principle of divine timing. Everything has a season, and the one who commands the cosmos knows exactly when to release the winds of change and the light of revelation into your path. The cycles you have endured also carry symbolic meaning. They reflect your spiritual readiness, your ability to discern truth from illusion, and your capacity to remain faithful when nothing appears to shift. Each repetition was a test of alignment, an invitation to deepen trust, and a preparation for the fullness of purpose that awaits you. Just as iron is forged through fire, your spirit has been strengthened through the pressures of repetition. What you once saw as delays or setbacks were in fact divine refining processes producing endurance, wisdom, and clarity. Now, as the cycle breaks, you will notice a new resonance within your soul. There will be an awakening, a sense that life no longer moves in circles, but along a divinely charted path. You will recognize that the patterns you once feared were scaffolding, and the release of repetition is not just freedom, it is empowerment. You are learning that true transformation is not simply about avoiding the old, but understanding its purpose, honoring the lessons, and stepping into a rhythm that aligns with God's design. The end of repetition signals a higher order, a life governed by insight, intention, and the subtle yet undeniable guidance of divine wisdom. Look deeper at the imagery of doors. The cycles were like doors that opened only to close again, leaving you hesitant, wary, and uncertain. But now the doors are not just opening, they are being unlocked and held by a hand that will not let them slam shut. Each doorway represents a decision, a spiritual principle, a moment where faith intersects with action. The divine meaning is clear. God is not merely breaking cycles for comfort or relief. He is creating pathways for you to walk with confidence, authority, and purpose, allowing your spirit to navigate life with clarity, power, and the unmistakable assurance that repetition no longer defines you. And finally, consider the metaphor of light breaking through clouds. For so long, the patterns of your life were obscured, the path dim, and the way forward hidden beneath the weight of cycles. The divine breaking of repetition is like sunlight piercing the clouds, illuminating the contours of your destiny, highlighting opportunities and revealing truths that were previously invisible. You are learning in this moment that divine timing is perfect, divine purpose is precise, and divine love is relentless. Every cycle that ended has prepared you to step fully into the light, and every step forward now carries spiritual significance, carrying you closer to the fulfillment that has always been yours. Embrace this truth. The breaking of cycles is both a spiritual awakening and a divine appointment. It teaches you patience, owns your discernment, strengthens your faith, and aligns you with the currents of destiny. It reveals the sacred geometry of your life, showing that what once seemed like repetition was in fact preparation. And as you move forward, you will not simply escape the old, you will step into a life that is guided by divine intention, illuminated by insight, and filled with the certainty that your path is unfolding exactly as it was meant to. Even now you may begin to notice subtle shifts around you. Small, quiet confirmations that the cycles are breaking and divine alignment is at work. Pay attention, for these signs are both personal and universal, designed to reassure your spirit that what you have been waiting for is unfolding exactly as intended. First, you may feel a sudden clarity in decisions that once seemed confusing or overwhelming. Situations that previously left you anxious now appear illuminated, with choices presenting themselves in ways that feel almost guided. That clarity is a sign from heaven. God is removing the fog of repetition and opening your mind to new perspectives and possibilities. Second, you might experience moments of synchronicity, encounters, conversations, or events that seem too perfect to be mere coincidence. Perhaps a message arrives at the exact moment you need it, a person steps into your life unexpectedly, or circumstances align in ways that feel orchestrated. These are the universe's gentle nods, confirming that divine timing is in motion and cycles are breaking in your favor. Third, your spirit may feel lighter, as if an invisible weight has lifted from your shoulders. The anxiety, tension, and pressure that once accompanied repeated challenges begin to dissipate. You notice it in your breath, in the ease of movement, in the quiet expansion of your heart. This is a spiritual sign that God's hand is actively removing the burdens that have kept you tethered to old patterns. Fourth, dreams and visions may carry new meaning. Symbols, images, or messages that once seemed random now resonate deeply, revealing hidden truths about your path and purpose. These nocturnal glimpses are divine confirmations, echoing the changes in your waking life and guiding your spirit toward the next step in your journey. Fifth, you may feel a subtle shift in the people around you. Relationships that once felt stagnant begin to flow with understanding, support, or accountability. Doors to new connections open, and the right people gravitate toward your path, while those who no longer serve your highest purpose gently recede. This is the divine pruning at work, a confirmation that your life is aligning with the sacred rhythm of growth. Finally, you may notice an increasing sense of peace and reassurance in your heart. Even amidst challenges or uncertainty, a quiet voice within reminds you that you are guided, protected, and seen. This inner calm is a sign from God. The cycles are ending, and you are being prepared for a season of fulfillment, clarity, and spiritual empowerment. Pay attention to these signs. Do not dismiss them as coincidence or imagination. They are the gentle fingerprints of heaven, confirming that the shift is real, and that you are being guided out of repetition and into divine alignment. Every glimpse of clarity, every synchronistic encounter, every weight lifted, and every feeling of inner peace is a signal that the cycle breaks here and the path forward is illuminated. As the cycles break and doors begin to open, it is important to understand that not all will be smooth or immediately easy. Behind every breakthrough lies hidden terrain, unseen trials that test your faith, endurance, and alignment with the divine plan. These challenges are not punishments. They are markers, guardians of your growth, and sacred tests that ensure the integrity of what is unfolding in your life. You may face moments when the very freedom you have been longing for feels delayed. Situations may arise that seem confusing or unfair, as if the universe is asking, "Do you truly trust me?" Old habits, patterns of thought, or emotional triggers may resurface unexpectedly, attempting to lure you back into familiar repetition. These are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to reaffirm your faith, to choose trust over the fear, and to step fully into the rhythm of divine timing. Another hidden challenge may come in the form of relationships. Some people, even well-intentioned, may resist the shifts in your life, testing your resolve, questioning your choices, or reflecting doubt and insecurity back to you. This is part of the pruning process, the divine separation of energies that no longer align with your growth. It may feel uncomfortable or even painful at times, but it is necessary for your spirit to move freely, unencumbered by influence that does not serve your highest purpose. You may also encounter moments of internal struggle. Doubt, fear, or fatigue can arise, whispering that the cycle has not truly broken, that the old patterns are returning, or that the timing is off. These internal battles are natural. They are part of the refining fire, testing the depth of your trust and the strength of your alignment. The key is to remember that faith is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward despite it. Each time you choose trust over worry, you strengthen the pathway for divine intervention to continue unhindered. In addition, practical obstacles may appear: delays, unexpected responsibilities, or challenges in resources and logistics. These external tests are reminders that the breakthrough is sacred and must be navigated with awareness, discipline, and obedience to God's guidance. They are the scaffolding that supports lasting transformation, ensuring that what is built is strong, sustainable, and aligned with your highest calling. The hidden challenges are, in essence, the threshold guardians of your new season. They are not there to stop you, but to prepare you, to refine your spirit, and to validate your readiness for what is coming. Facing them with courage, patience, and faith turns every difficulty into a stepping stone, every obstacle into a teacher, and every test into confirmation that you are walking exactly where you are meant to be. Remember, these challenges do not diminish the promise, they enhance it. The very fact that obstacles appear in the midst of blessing is proof that the cycle is breaking and that heaven is actively guiding you through refinement into full alignment with purpose, destiny, and divine favor. Stand firm, trust the unseen hand, and know that every hidden challenge is temporary, meaningful, and designed to lead you into triumph. As the cycles break and hidden challenges arise, God now calls you to action. This is not a casual invitation. It is a sacred assignment. The instructions you are about to receive are both practical and spiritual, designed to align your heart, mind, and soul with the divine momentum already in motion. Each step you take is a declaration of trust, obedience, and readiness to receive the blessings that have been prepared for you. First, guard your heart and mind vigilantly. Just as a fortress requires strong walls, your spirit requires discernment. Pay attention to the thoughts, fears, and doubts that attempt to creep back into your consciousness. Every worry that whispers of past failures is a temptation to revert to repetition. Replace these thoughts with affirmations of divine truth. The cycle breaks here. The doors are opening, and you are aligned with God's purpose. Repetition loses its hold when your mind is focused on the path that heaven has set before you. Second, cultivate spiritual awareness through consistent prayer, meditation, and reflection. These are not mere routines. They are lifelines that connect you directly to the divine source. In these moments of communion, listen carefully for the subtle nudges, impressions, and promptings that guide your next steps. The smallest insights, the fleeting instincts, or the sudden clarity in your mind are often divine signals directing your path. Respond promptly without hesitation. for obedience at the right moment amplifies every blessing. Third, take deliberate action in the physical world. Spiritual preparation without tangible steps is incomplete. Open doors that are available follow the opportunities presented and make decisions with intentionality and courage. Even when fear lingers, action demonstrates faith. Each step you take in alignment with divine guidance acts as a signal to heaven, a declaration that you are ready to receive and embrace the new rhythm of your life. Fourth, release. What no longer serves your growth. Relationships, environments, or patterns that reinforce the old cycles must be consciously released. This does not mean turning away from love or compassion. It means choosing alignment over comfort, purpose over repetition. Trust that God will replace what is released with what is truly necessary for your journey. The act of letting go is both sacred and empowering. It creates space for the new to arrive fully and without obstruction. Fifth, embrace gratitude as a daily discipline. Recognize not only the visible blessings, but also the invisible work of God in your life. Gratitude shifts your perspective, anchors your spirit in faith, and magnifies the awareness of divine alignment. Each day, recount the signs, the shifts, and the subtle movements of heaven that affirm the cycles are breaking. Gratitude opens your heart and strengthens your connection to the flow of divine favor. Sixth practice. Patience without passivity. There will be moments when the timing seems slow or unclear. Do not confuse waiting with inaction. Divine timing is precise, and every pause is preparation. Use this time to strengthen your inner resilience, refine your understanding, and sharpen your spiritual awareness. Every moment of waiting, when filled with faith and readiness, multiplies the effectiveness of your forthcoming steps. Finally, remain vigilant in humility and obedience. Pride or impatience can disrupt the divine flow. Approach every new opportunity with reverence, every challenge with faith, and every shift with gratitude. Recognize that while you are active in this process, it is God who orchestrates the outcomes. Your role is to align, obey, and participate consciously in the divine unfolding of your life. Take these instructions seriously, for they are not merely guidance. They are a blueprint for transformation. Follow them with urgency, dedication, and faith. Every choice, every action, every moment of spiritual attentiveness will serve to solidify the breaking of cycles, the alignment with destiny, and the unfolding of blessings that have been awaiting your readiness. This is your sacred duty, your personal empowerment, and your pathway to walking fully in the freedom, purpose, and divine favor that is already yours. As you step into this new season, know that you are not walking alone. You are surrounded by a presence far greater than any challenge, a divine protection that shields you even before you take a single step. The cycles may have tried to hold you, but now a spiritual fortress surrounds your mind, your heart, and your path. This is not abstract. It is real, tangible, and unbreakable. The same hand that orchestrates the breaking of repetition also guards every move you make, ensuring that the shifts in your life are guided safe and purposeful. Imagine a light forming a dome around you, bright yet gentle, extending in every direction, impenetrable to fear, doubt, or negative influence. That light is the assurance of God's protection. You may feel storms still attempting to test you, old habits, emotional triggers, or external pressures. But within this dome, they cannot harm your spirit. Each trial is observed, measured, and contained by the unseen forces working in your favor. You are watched over with precision, care, and love, and no cycle or circumstance can bypass this protection, unless it serves a higher purpose in your transformation. The assurance extends to every area of your life. Your relationships, your opportunities, your decisions, and even the smallest movements of your day are under divine supervision. Even when it seems as though the world moves unpredictably, the orchestration behind the scenes is intentional and protective. God is actively arranging circumstances so that you encounter what will strengthen you and avoid what could derail your growth. This is the mark of a life under divine guardianship, clarity. Amidst chaos, safety. Amidst uncertainty and guidance amidst the unknown. You may feel moments of doubt, wondering if the protection is real or if the challenges are too great. In these moments, remember that protection is not always the removal of difficulty. It is the assurance of presence and support. It is the quiet, unwavering knowledge that every step, every choice, every transition is being watched over. Even the tests that appear frightening are framed by unseen hands, ensuring your endurance leads to blessing rather than setback. Notice also the subtle signs of protection in your daily life, doors opening at just the right moment. Encounters with people who bring guidance or support, and circumstances that steer you away from harm. These are confirmations, the fingerprints of divine assurance. Pay attention to them and let them settle in your heart as tangible evidence that you are held guided and cherished. Take a moment to breathe deeply and sense this protection surrounding you. Feel it in your chest, your shoulders, your mind. Know that no cycle, no past repetition, no external force can overpower the shield that God has placed around your life. You are safe. You are guided. You are never alone. And as you continue forward, let this truth give you courage, peace, and confidence to embrace the transformation that is unfolding. Now envision the moment when the cycles have fully broken and the rhythm of your life shifts into alignment with divine intent. This is more than a simple change, it is a transformation of your very being. The weight you once carried lifts entirely, replaced by a sense of lightness and clarity that permeates every thought, every breath, and every heartbeat. You will feel as though you are walking in sunlight after years of shadow, each step illuminated with purpose and meaning. This is the fulfillment of preparation, the manifestation of readiness, and the evidence of heaven's deliberate orchestration. Your spirit, once burdened by repetition and uncertainty, will radiate with newfound confidence. The doubts and fears that once circled back like relentless echoes now fall silent, replaced by clarity, courage, and discernment. You will recognize opportunities with ease, discern truth with confidence, and navigate life with an assurance that was forged in the fires of the trials you endured. The lessons of the past will no longer weigh you down. They will serve as anchors, reminders of how far you have come, and proof of the strength you now carry. Relationships, too, will reflect this transformation. Connections that are aligned with your purpose will flourish, bringing support, encouragement, and collaboration. People who share your vision and resonate with your energy will gravitate toward you, forming alliances that feel natural, empowering, and divinely timed. Conversely, relationships that no longer serve your higher path will fade without resistance, making space for what truly belongs in your life. The cycles of misalignment and repeated conflict will be replaced by harmony, mutual respect, and spiritual resonance. On a deeper level, your inner world will shift profoundly. Moments of prayer, reflection, and connection with the divine will become more potent, more tangible. You will experience an intimacy with God that feels like a steady current flowing through every aspect of your life, guiding your decisions, inspiring creativity, and deepening your purpose. This is the spiritual fruit of endurance, a soul refined, a heart awakened, and a spirit fully aligned with divine intention. The transformation will not only be internal, it will manifest outwardly as tangible success opportunities and breakthroughs that mirror the inner shift. Doors will open in your career, personal endeavors, and life vision with precision, timing, and favor. What once required struggle will now flow with ease. What once seemed impossible will now be achievable because your spirit is in resonance with the rhythm of divine timing. This is the fulfillment of the cycles, breaking the culmination of preparation, refinement, and divine orchestration. Emotionally, you will experience profound peace and joy. Gratitude will arise naturally in your heart, not forced, but as a response to the recognition of divine faithfulness. There will be a deep sense of satisfaction not rooted in accomplishment alone, but in the understanding that every hardship, every repetition, every test was purposeful and necessary. You will step forward fully empowered, ready to embrace the destiny that has been prepared for you, confident in the knowledge that the cycles no longer control you. Take this vision and let it permeate your being. See yourself walking freely, acting decisively, and living fully aligned with divine purpose. This is your season of transformation, your moment of fulfillment, and the realization that the cycles have been broken and you have emerged victorious. Now, as you stand on the threshold of this new season, take a moment to anchor these truths in your spirit. Repeat these affirmations, letting each word resonate deeply, stirring faith and courage within your heart. 1. I am free from every cycle that has held me. Every repetition, every setback, every pattern of limitation loses its grip now. You are stepping into freedom, empowered by divine intervention. 2. I walk in alignment with God's purpose and timing. Every decision, every action, and every step is guided by heaven. Trust that each moment unfolds with precision and intention. 3. I am protected, guided, and empowered in all that I do. The unseen hand of God surrounds you, shielding you from harm and guiding you toward blessings you have yet to fully imagine. 4. I embrace the transformation that is unfolding within me. Your spirit, mind, and heart are entering a new rhythm, one of clarity, strength, and divine favor. Hold these affirmations close, repeating them daily, allowing them to become the melody of your soul. Let them shape your perception, your actions, and your faith. And now hear this blessing over your life. May the cycles that once defined your days crumble completely. May every door of limitation swing open, revealing pathways of abundance, clarity, and purpose. May your spirit rise with courage, your heart overflow with peace, and your life reflect the divine orchestration that has been silently preparing you. May you walk forward with confidence, knowing that every step is watched, guided, and blessed. May joy, fulfillment, and spiritual awakening surround you, and may the light of God's presence shine continually upon your path. Step forward boldly, for the cycle breaks here. The weight lifts, the doors open, and your destiny awaits. You are prepared, empowered, and protected. Walk in the knowledge that the transformation is real, the blessing is active, and the fulfillment is imminent. Let your heart rise, your spirit rejoice, and your life shine as a testament to the divine hand that moves in your favor. Receive this promise, carry it with you, and step confidently into the reality that has been written for you since the beginning. The cycle is broken, and your story begins anew, guided, guarded, and gloriously fulfilled.